Arsenal Fan TV, Mo, just out of St James's Park now. Big 3 points for Arsenal. Big 3 points. Maybe the performance not great. What did you make of it today?
Yeah, if you want to talk about the points, perfect outcome today. Absolutely brilliant. Delighted with the 3 points. If you want to talk about the performance, completely changes. The picture gets a whole lot more dreary, and it was a poor performance today. A lot of other people have said that, and you've questioned them. And
no, I've just questioned them in the fact that sometimes you see teams come, they play, they haven't played great, but they've kept the ball. And that's basically what Arsenal did today. No, they kept the ball. I felt that Arsenal was playing better, actually, when they had 11 men.
Yeah.
They was moving it quicker. But so you could argue that after they went down to 10 men, Arsenal was very professional, kept the ball. You know, Newcastle, I don't think, had even a shot on goal, that is a very important part of winning games. It's not always about smashing teams 4 or 5-0. Sure, it's about keeping possession,
what I'd say then,
scoring, winning the game, and locking it down.
What I'd say is then, if we're going to appraise the performance, then let's compartmentalise it and say that the defence, brilliant. You know, I thought, let's give credit where it's due today. Peter Cech, you know, even the few saves that he had to make, I think one of them was offside, but was perfect. No worries at all there. I thought Bellerin was brilliant today. I thought Monreal was brilliant as well. Bellerin especially, but Monreal was being so consistent we don't even notice it anymore. So there's a lot of humble pie for a lot of people with Monreal. Koscielny, consistent as usual, but the pick out of the 4 for me, Paulista, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I remember when Arsenal signed him, Arsenal acquired kind of a business a few years ago where it gives kind of analytics about players. And we actually used that in order to make the decision to sign Paulista. And one of the indicators as to Paulista's ability was the amount of tackles he's won on the ground against other La Liga opponents. And today, you know, you could see that in action. He won so many challenges on the ground today, cleanly nicked the ball away. I thought he was brilliant today. And again, Coquelin, who came in for a lot of stick against West Ham, who came in for a little bit of stick against Palace because he was riding that fine line between, you know, being aggressive and getting sent off. Today, he came under a lot of physical pressure from the opposition team. And it was a bit of a middle finger to Gary Neville. Soft touch? What the hell are you talking about? You know, we got protection from the referee today, as we should have, I thought. I think there were a couple of soft yellow cards for the Newcastle lads. But, you know, we're not. I disagree that we're a soft touch. We have got players that can fight. And if you up to that point, I think we were brilliant. You know, really, really full of praise for them lot. Final third. Now, this is where it gets a little less impressive. And this is why I say we're poor. Because let's not forget, we were playing against 10 men for 74 minutes today. They weren't, you know, breathing heavy at the end of it. We weren't really stretching them. We didn't get in behind them a lot. Tim Krul didn't make brilliant saves. Everything was fairly comfortable for them. And I've got higher expectations of Arsenal against 11 men, never mind 10 men. But, you know, I agree with what you said, where I felt like we played better against their 11. Because as soon as they went a man down, they did make it harder for us. And it's an old cliche that sometimes it's harder to play against 10.
And I think that's actually a cliche that can be true, because it means that they're at home. If they would have did that with 11 men, their fans would have got on their back and said, you know, but they're down to 10 men. Their crowd's behind them because they think they're being hard done by. They can literally put every single player behind the ball and just hold a real formation, which McLaren is good at organising. Sure. And they did that very well. It is very hard to break that down.
I feel like after going down to 10 men, Steve McLaren would have said to them, let's make this a 10-minute game, you know, in his lovely Dutch accent. And he would have tried to minimise that game and just say, look, let's try and get one opportunity and let's not let them kind of pressure us for too long, because otherwise that pressure will tell. But I just feel that Arsenal didn't step it up enough. We weren't good enough given the circumstances. And, you know, when the game started, I thought there's definitely goals in this game. There was space and there was a lot of openness. But, you know, if we're going to analyse why we didn't play to the level that we were expecting or hoping for, look, obviously Ozil was a miss. That's an easy thing to spot. But for me, I had a great view. We're high up, you have a lovely bird's eye view, especially in the first half. I was looking at Theo Walcott. He's not a lazy player, but he looked lazy today. And I think of all the positions on the pitch, the most instinctive one is that of a striker. You know, midfielders, defenders, you learn your trade. You know, goalkeepers as well, but I'm talking about outfield players. Midfielders and defenders, they learn their trade, they get better and better. Like Callum Chambers, you know, his performance in the last game against Liverpool, hopefully in 3, 4, 5 years' time, we won't be seeing that from him because he will learn his trade and he'll grow into the role. But strikers, I believe you either have it or you don't. And I believe you can spot a natural, instinctive striker a mile off. And I always use these examples, but I hate to say his name, but Michael Owen, from day one, you could tell this boy is special. Nicolas Anelka, from day one, you could tell there's something about him. When he displaced Ian Wright in the Arsenal team, no one really batted an eyelid because there was something about Nicolas Anelka that made you think he's got it. I don't see that with Theo Walcott. I don't feel as though the runs that he makes are the sharp, intelligent... I don't think that Walcott's runs are the sharp, intelligent runs that a natural striker makes. And I think we need to kind of be a little bit realistic with ourselves now. Walcott is not a striker.
So who then?
Listen, no.
Who,
what I don't want to do,
hold on, no, I've got to ask this.
No, because
I've got to ask this.
My name is not Jenny Lizarazu. It's not Alexis.
You don't look as good as Jenny Lizarazu.
It's not Emiliano Giuliano or whatever. It's not Mems Dogi. It's not Claude. I'm not in the know. So don't ask me.
No, not ask you in the know. I'm not saying they're definitely going to come. Who do you think we need to get? Right, that's realistic. There's 3 days to go.
It's not
realistically. Who can we bring in?
It's not my.
So we can't keep moaning about it if we don't think there's somebody out there that's realistic we could bring in.
That's not a fan's job to know. Listen, there's strikers.
You can have somebody that you think to yourself.
There's strikers that have moved. It's a futile exercise. 2-3 weeks ago.
Is there nobody out there though that you think maybe I'd love to see him?
2-3 weeks ago, I highlighted Iramendi from Real Madrid as a CDM option. I thought to myself, I'm not in the know. I don't know if he's available for a transfer, but I looked at him and I looked at his appearances last year and mainly sub, and I thought, surely he wants to move on.
But let's talk strikers.
But listen, I came up with someone. It doesn't make any difference. It's a futile exercise. There's absolutely no point in me saying this person or that person.
I just want to know what your opinion is.
Listen,
I just want to know who you criticised Theo Walcott. Take it that Giroud is probably.
Criticism for Theo.
You said he's not a striker,
yeah,
right?
I think he's brilliant as a wide forward.
So for you, we got 3 days left. Who would you like to see us go out there and buy a realistic player for us to throw the money down on the table and say we want him?
If we're talking about throwing money down on the table, I'm going to go back to the principle that I've always had and I'll never ever move from. Money in the bank and gaps in the squad should never ever coexist.
So who?
And on that basis,
I know your principles.
And on that basis, I'll say Lewandowski. Let's go and test Bayern Munich's resolve. Bayern Munich and Lewandowski haven't been a perfect love affair. They haven't gelled as perfectly as what they might have anticipated. I'd like to see Arsenal at least go and try. But the point is, we don't know what Arsenal have done in the transfer window. We don't actually know who we've tried to go for.
No, we ain't got nothing yet.
I know. So all we do know is that it's not good enough. And look, all I'd say is that I believe if David Dein was still at the club, we wouldn't be going through these problems. I think there'd be a lot more know-how, a lot more aggression in the transfer windows. So we need to sign someone. I still believe that Arsenal will sign someone, but who it's going to be, I've got no idea. And also, the Arteta problem as well. Coquelin is our first choice and he's been brilliant. I'm happy with him. If he gets injured, then we're back to them scary days of getting hit on the counter-attack. So these two crucial areas we need to strengthen in. Priority's got to be a striker, then it's a CDM. As for today, look, 3 points. We're playing rubbish. We will pick up. Arsenal always pick up. We always go on a run. So let's just hope we do some business the next 2 days and the form improves.
Giroud came on today, didn't he? He looked really awful, didn't he, when he came on? And so we need that extra bit of quality. But let's not worry about that. We've got 2 away wins. We'll probably end up with more away wins than home wins this season.